All right. I am going to take this opportunity to start to talk to you about saving money on your grocery bill. My son encouraged me to make a menu to live for $1 a day a while back. And I was able to start on that, but as things have really gotten out of control lately, grocery prices have skyrocketed. And I thought that maybe this type of video might really help you if you're feeling pinched on your grocery budget. My kids don't like to eat meat with bones in it. So I had discovered this trick back before, and I'm going to share it with you now. So basically, you look in your grocery flyer and find out what's on sale. And in this case, assorted pork chops, 99 cents a pound. Fantastic. And here we have chicken leg quarters, 99 cents a pound. So unfortunately, I've already processed the chicken leg quarters. I didn't think to do this video, but I can show you. Well, actually, I can't show you because I ate them. I made a nice dish the other night. But I can show you what the leg unit looks like as part of the chicken leg quarters. And I haven't bagged these yet. So I'm going to bag these as part of this video. This is now boneless chicken. And I put the chicken bones in the freezer so that I can make soup at a later time. These are all the chicken bones with plenty of meat on them, mind you. Like the chicken and rice and vegetable soup. Maybe I'll do that on YouTube later. So here, I have been to the grocery store. I found the pork chops, 99 cents a pound. You can see the label right here, and it says 3.71 pounds. And just so we can sort of get an idea of how much actual meat is here, I'll turn on the scale. And that says, I'll put it in ounces. That says 3 pounds, 12 ounces. And this says 3.71 pounds. I would pretty much agree with that. All right, so let's get started. And this cost me, as you saw, $3.67 for the whole package. And there is a ton of meat here, tons and tons of meals. Okay. So start to finish, this is going to be real time so you can see how much time actually this takes. So if you haven't done it already, I would wash your hands. I've been washing dishes, you didn't see that, but I'll do it again. It's literally, I've got my Ziploc bags that I'm going to use here. Maybe some wax paper sometimes. And this is a nice chunk of meat. Let's do a count first. Some weird shapes here. Hardly any bone in that. Because again, we're trying to eliminate the bone and just have pieces of meat so we can add them to, you know, like pad thai or stir fry or whatever we want to eat. Or maybe even, you know, just pork and broccoli or something. So basically, I just kind of feel around, feel where the meat is. Oh, so I bought this fillet knife. You pretty much probably could use whatever you had. And I'm just going to feel the meat and try to make meal-sized portions. And then I'll freeze it into meal-sized portions. A lot of times I'll use pieces of wax paper to separate the portions, and I will even freeze it in a yogurt container. I use a lot of my old containers, and that way I can, I put the scraps on the foam for now. If there's a big chunk of fat, I also cut it off. I suppose you don't have to, but I make beans with the bones and the fat. I put it in baked beans. Baked beans are a great way to save a lot of money because you can get a lot of beans, but not a lot of money. That's why my grandparents swore by them. That's how they got through the Depression. So I'm just basically cutting around the bone as much as I can to just release it. Okay. Feel it, make sure there's no. Now there's still meat on the bones, that's okay because I'm going to cook it with my beans. It'll add flavor to my beans. So I don't need to be too aggressive at trimming the bones. Oh, I should mention that I have a nice big cutting board. You can get a nice big cutting board or a thin one. They're not expensive. Some people prefer different kinds. I like the plastic because it's easy to clean. But again, that's your preference. Whatever you have will probably work. So here's a big bone. Here's a nice big chunk of meat. Yeah, like I say, if you want, you can cut off the fat and put it in with the scraps that are going to go in the beans. Just adds flavor to your beans and you don't have to throw it away. And this one here has a big chunk of fat and a big long bone. And you can't really tell what's in the package. Like the sale said, it's assorted. So you don't really know what you're going to get. But truthfully, I've always felt like I've really gotten good deals this way. And yes, the bones are waste, but again, you're cooking something else with them. So I don't feel that you're getting some value out of them. Big chunk of fat here I'm trying to cut off. And I suppose you could feed it to birds if you really wanted to, but I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna use it in meat, so. And I suppose if you really wanted to be picky, you could cut out like the loin piece of this chop. So you've got a really nice pork chop. I don't usually bother with that. This is like a strip of fat, if you will. We'll weigh it in as waste. How's that? And it'll just add awesome flavor to my beans. So we're literally just cutting around the bones, getting a nice piece of pork. And here's a really nice boneless chop. And this is not a bad little piece of meat right here. I'm just trying to show you it's very little effort to separate out the good parts. I suppose I could have a bag at the end full of small pieces for like a stir fry. Or pork and eggs in the morning or something. Something simple. Or I could put it through my meat grinder. I've done that. I have a meat grinder and make ground pork, which is always nice to have for kids that want to have things that are ground up. You could even mix that with ground beef. Nice taste. And you can feel the bone in the meat if you squish it between your fingers. It's not hard. And I'm not an expert at this. I just simply watched a few videos on YouTube. I knew that you could do it. I'm sure that there's somebody who's much better at processing the meat on YouTube than myself. I'm just showing you what I do. Snip it for your stir fry again. Some fat. Oops. Nice piece of meat right there. Again, I'm really putting too much effort into getting some little pieces of meat off some of these bones, but like I said, it's not a waste because you're going to cook your beans with it. Or I suppose you could make a soup or something like an oxtail soup or something like that and use the meat. All right, so let's see what we've got here. I'll wash my hands again real quick. And we'll weigh it to see what we got. If you remember right, we had 3 pounds, 11 ounces of meat. So we got 1 pound of scraps, which means we have 2 pounds, 11 ounces of meat. And that would be for, I forgot what the original sticker was, less than $4 for sure. So now I just take, like I said, I take bags and I try to separate it into portions with wax paper. I just pull off strips of wax paper right off the package. And I will literally go like this, hold it like this, get a nice chop, hold it, chop. That's 3 pork chops that are very easy to get them out one at a time, since it's just me. And each of these is 2 servings for me at this point. So when I'm making my meals, I'm making a meal plus leftovers. And there, I'll put that in the freezer and I'll write what it is and I'll date it. When I get something big like that, quite often I'll cut it in half because it's just too big. I want with the wax paper like that to do the 4th one on this side. Get all the air out. I used to use a straw and suck the air out. I don't even bother anymore. And then when it comes to these like stir fry pieces, you could, sometimes I'll use a sandwich bag. And I'll just chop it into little pieces. Again, I suppose I could be weighing this and, you know, doing like 1/4 pound or 1/3 pound servings, but I just eyeball it. what you can do is by putting what you need for like a single stir fry into a little bag, and then you can put a little bag into a big bag, and then you've got little, makes meal prep easier because you only have to thaw out what you're actually going to use. It is very helpful to have a nice knife. Again, I say fat because I'm going to put it in my beans. I don't know how healthy that is, but it sure does make the beans taste good. Got to be healthier than salt pork. Pretty fatty, this one. I'm going to try to trim that fat off the little pieces here. Okay, I'm going to put the little bits in the bag. You can always coat it and put it in the air fryer and make like little pork nuggets too. Do worse for sure. All about the protein, really. Like I say, you don't have to be as particular as I am being. It's just a nice way to. It is. All right. So now I've got 3 stir fry meals and 14 meals of pork chops if I eat half a pork chop, and 7 meals of pork chops if I eat a full pork chop. All right, so let's weigh the meat. Again, I'm going to throw these bones together and use them in beans. All right, that package is 11 ounces. That package is 1 pound, 10 ounce, and this package, so there's 2.5 pounds of high quality pork chops. Okay, so I'm going to label them, and I'm with the date, and I'm going to what they are, and I'm going to put them in the freezer, and I'm going to bag the bones and use them for beans. Hope this helps somebody.